9 questions that every therapist asks and who can help. If you're a new therapist trying to start a private practice, I bet you're asking yourself at least 3 of these 9 questions right now. And if you're really in the thick of it, you're probably asking all 9 at the same time. So usually at 11 p.m. when you can't sleep because you're spiraling about whether you're doing this whole thing wrong. I'm Lisa Reidsema. I'm an LMHC, and I built and then closed a group practice with 7 therapists before going solo. I've asked every single one of these questions myself, some of them multiple times, some of them while crying. So let's go through them, and I'll show you where to actually get help with each one. So question number 1, who is my practice even for? Well, this is the big one, the niche question. Everyone tells you to niche down, but how? How do you pick based on what you're trained in, what you're passionate about, what's profitable? What if you pick the wrong thing and no one wants to work with you? Well, here's the truth. Your niche usually finds you through your first year of practice, and you notice patterns. These clients energize you, those ones drain you. This type of problem lights you up, and that one makes you want to quit. But that's not helpful when you're trying to write your Psychology Today profile, right? So here's what actually helps. You need to look at the intersection of 3 things: what you're good at, what people actually need, and what won't make you resent your business and practice in 6 months. I have a whole process for this. Actually, I created a consultant named Nico who walks you through finding your niche without the paralysis, and he asks you the right questions, helps you see the patterns that you're missing, and won't let you pick something just because it sounds impressive. But let's keep going, because that's just question number 1. So question number 2, how do I actually get clients? You've got your niche, you've got your office or your electronic health record set up, and you've got your license and your liability insurance, and now you're sitting there like, okay, but where are the clients? Everyone says just network or get on Psychology Today, but nobody tells you what networking actually means. And when you're an anxious introvert who became a therapist specifically to sit in a quiet room with one other person at a time, and Psychology Today, sure, great. But there are 47 other therapists in your area with the same credentials. So why would someone pick you? Well, the answer isn't one thing, it's 5 or 6 small things that add up over time. So your Psychology Today profile, yes, but also telling literally everyone you know that you're taking on new clients. So joining 1 or 2 local networking groups, reaching out to 5 therapists with full caseloads and asking them for overflow, having a simple website that actually explains what you do. I built a whole guide on this, and actually it's one of my courses, and it's called the Launch Lab, Your First 90 Days in Private Practice. But I also have a consultant named Maribel who helps with marketing, and she's specifically trained on getting your first clients without the gross feeling of selling yourself. So next question, 3, what do I even charge? This is where everyone undercharges and then gets resentful of their practice in 6 months because you think, well, I'm new, so I should charge less, or I want to be accessible, or I don't want to seem greedy. So you charge $100 a session and then realize after taxes, liability insurance, rent, CEUs, and the fact that you're not getting paid for no-shows, cancellations, administrative time, or notes, that you're making about $30 an hour. And you could make that at Target as a manager with benefits, and you wouldn't have to hold other people's trauma. So here's what nobody tells you. Your rate needs to cover all of that. The business costs, the unpaid time, the taxes, and pay you a living wage. For most people, that's $125 to $150 minimum an hour, but depending on your area. So you also need to have that conversation with your clients without apologizing for your rate or offering a discount before they even ask. So my consultants, Patrice and Priscilla, together could help with pricing and also those difficult boundaries and conversations. So, okay, we're moving on. Now we are at question number 4. So, do I take insurance or go private pay? This is the question that determines your whole business model. So, insurance pros. It's steady referrals. Clients can afford you. Feels less elitist. Insurance cons. You get paid 30 to 40% less. Mountains of paperwork. You need to be credentialed, which takes months. Insurance companies can deny claims randomly, and they might demand your notes. Private pay pros. You set your rate. Way less paperwork. No credentialing. And no insurance company telling you how to do your job or run your business. So private pay cons, smaller client pool. You need to market yourself. Clients need to be able to afford you, and you might feel guilty about it. So there's no one right answer. It just depends on your area, your niche, your lifestyle needs, and honestly, your tolerance for BS. So I did insurance for years and then went private pay, and now I do a hybrid, but I'll tell you, the pay cut wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be because I could see more clients in less time without the admin. But this is a big decision. My private pay course walks you through how to actually make the switch if that's what you really want to do. And my consultant, Priscilla, specializes in the financial planning piece of it and helping you figure out if you can actually afford to go private pay. So moving on, we're at question 5. How do I handle credentialing? So if you decided to take insurance, well, welcome to credentialing hell. It takes 3 to 6 months, and you need different paperwork for every insurance company. The portals are usually from like 1997 and don't work half the time, and they'll ask you for the same document 7 different ways. And then they'll deny you for a reason that they won't tell you or explain. So I credentialed 8 people in my group practice, myself included, plus 7 other therapists. And I know that this process is difficult inside and out. And I can tell you it's a nightmare, but it's survivable and you can do it yourself. I have a system checklist and knowing exactly what each insurance company needs and how to follow up without losing your mind. That's what my credentialing accelerator course does. It gives you the actual process, the real timeline, the follow-up templates, everything that I learned credentialing 8 people so that you don't have to figure it out the hard way like I did. It is offered as both self-directed and a cohort. And yes, I have a consultant developed for this too, and her name is Claudette, and she'll be happy to walk you through the credentialing process step by step. And next up, question 6. What the hell do I do about notes? Well, progress notes, treatment plans, everyone hates them. Everyone procrastinates on them as well. And everyone has that one client from 3 weeks ago whose note you still haven't done, and now you can't remember what the session was about. So here's the thing. Your notes don't have to be perfect. They have to be done. And you need a system that's simple enough that you'll actually do it. Comprehensive enough to cover your yourself legally and fast enough that you're not going to be spending 2 hours a day on notes. So most people overcomplicate this. They think that notes need to be these beautiful clinical narratives, and they don't. They need to document that you saw the client, what you addressed, and the plan going forward. And that's it. And I teach a whole system for this in my Systems That Simplify course. How to write notes that take 5 minutes instead of 20, and how to create templates that work for you, and how to make sure that you're covered legally without drowning in paperwork. So my consultant Sinclair specializes in systems, and he'll help you find the right tools for your practice and figure out what you actually need to include and what you don't. So just a few more questions. Question number 7, am I doing therapy right? This is the imposter syndrome question. You're in session with a client and you think, should I have said that? Should I have asked this instead? Did I just make it worse? And why didn't grad school prepare me for this? Because here's what grad school teaches you: theory, technique, and ethics. And here's what grad school doesn't teach you right now anyway: what to do when a client asks you a direct question about your life, how to handle a client who just stares at you in silence for 10 minutes, what to say when someone asks, am I getting better? And you honestly don't know yet. The clinical skills, the real skills, you learn by doing and by supervision and by talking to other therapists who admit that they don't have it all figured out either. But you also need to trust yourself more than you think that you do. And your instincts are better than your anxiety is telling you. So this is what my Trusting Yourself in Session ebook is all about. Learning to trust your clinical judgment, what to do with the questions grad school didn't answer, and how to know when you're doing well enough. And my consultant, Caroline, helps with confidence when you're stuck and feeling like you're on an island with no way off. So just a couple more questions. Question 8, how do I not burn out? Real talk, this field will burn you out if you let it. Holding everyone else's trauma, being on all day, no paid time off, no sick days unless you want to lose income. The emotional labor of pretending that you're fine when your client says something that hits your pain point. Add in seeing 25 plus clients a week and just to make ends meet, doing notes at night, squeezing in billing and admin whenever you can. And yeah, that's a recipe for hating your job in 6 months. The only way not to burn out is to build sustainable systems right from the start. And that means realistic caseload, probably fewer clients than you actually think, and boundaries that you really enforce, and systems that run your business so that you're not doing everything manually. Time for your therapy, time for your friends, and time for your life. I learned this the hard way, and I managed 7 therapists, did all the admin myself, and nearly broke. And now I'm solo, and I have time for my pool ladies and dinner club, and that's not a luxury, that's just how I survive. So this is what my whole business teaches. Maintainable private practice, no hustle bustle. Not 6 figures in 6 months, but maybe realistically later. So my consultant Sinclair is a systems guy, and he specializes in helping you set up the tools that will save you time and also help you build a practice that doesn't consume your life. Last question. Question 9. Is this even worth it? Some days you'll ask yourself this when you're staring at an empty calendar, wondering where the clients are, and when you spent 3 hours on an insurance company phone tree, when a client no-shows and you really needed that income, And when you're doing notes at 10 p.m. and wondering if you should have just stayed at the agency. Is it worth it? Here's what I can tell you. It can be worth it, but only if you build it in a way that works for your life, not the Instagram version of private practice, not the I see 40 clients a week and I'm ready to drop version. The version where you actually like your job, where you have time for your life, where you're not breaking yourself to help other people. And that's possible, but you need help getting there. You need someone in your corner who's done it and can show you how. That's why I built this whole thing. So 9 questions, and if you're like most new therapists, you're asking some version of all 9 of these right now, and you need help, but you probably can't afford $349 an hour coaching with me, so you don't have time for a master class, and you need answers at 11 p.m. when you're spiraling, not during business hours. So I built the consultant team, 9 consultants. Each one specializes in a different piece of building a private practice. Patrice for practice setup and foundation, Nico for niche clarity, Maribel for marketing, Bernice for brand recognition, Priscilla for private pay and practice growth, Claudette for credentialing, Sinclair for systems, Caroline for clinical grounding and business growth, and Roberto for referrals. They're available 24/7. They never get tired. They cost $37 each, one time, no subscription. You can keep them forever, and they're trained on everything I learned building a group practice with 7 therapists, then closing it and going solo. All the mistakes I made so that you don't have to. All the systems that actually work. Are they perfect? No, but they're really, really good. And they're a hell of a lot more affordable than hiring me for coaching, but you surely still can. So meet the whole team at craftyourpractice.com/team. It's the team page explaining what they do, who they're for, and what questions they can help you answer. Pick 1, pick 3, pick all 9 if you want the whole team in your corner. Because here's the thing, you don't have to figure this all out by yourself. You shouldn't figure this out by yourself. Grad school didn't prepare you for this, and that's not your fault, but it is your responsibility to get the help that you need. So go meet the team, pick 1 who can help you with whatever your question is keeping you up at night, and let's build you a practice that doesn't break you. If this was helpful, subscribe for more realistic, no BS guidance on building a private practice. I post every week, and if you want the free stuff, I have a starter kit, a niche workbook, and some other resources, and you can go to craftyourpractice.com/start. I'm Lisa Reidsema. I'm an LMHC and a therapist just like many of you, and I teach the missing curriculum and all the stuff that they don't tell you in grad school. So I'm here to help you build a practice that actually works for your life. See you next week.